Hi and welcome back to our Saturday sofa share. Wasn't here last Saturday because you were off.
I was, yeah.
And unfortunately I'm not going to be here next weekend. I know, more time off, it's terrible, isn't it? Hope everybody is keeping well and get fuel back in our cars now. It's a lovely feeling to go into a petrol station, fill up, pay, no issues, and off we go. So a bit of normality setting back in again, which is great news. So housing market at the moment, still busy.
Still very strong at the moment.
Still very strong indeed. And today we wanted to talk about searches. And I don't mean searches people ring up, I'm looking for a property, can you help me find one, I'm searching for it. That's, I think that's quite self-explanatory. But when you have agreed to buy a property and you've started your mortgage application and you reach out to your solicitor, or we recommend one to you, and they ask for X amount of pounds up front, to start the searches. Searches, well, the house is there. So what, Andrew, what is a search?
So there's several types of searches. The most common one that your solicitor will do will be a local authority search. That's a search on the actual property and the immediate surrounding areas, searching for anything that may adversely affect the property. Perhaps any planning that's going on in the area, any road improvements, widening or new roads, etc. So it's pretty much the solicitors doing their due diligence to make sure that the property you're hoping to buy is of sound title, and the searches form part of that, which of course means that when you move in, that suddenly you aren't surprised to find 500 houses being built in your back garden.
Yeah. No hidden extras about to be thrown in. You're going to have a motorway coming through your back garden or something. So, okay, so that's the local authority searches. What other kind of searches can people be listening for?
Environmental search, flood risk, which again is important, I suppose, with the climate change, etc. A lot of the country would be at a certain level of flood risk, either low, medium, high or very high. Quite important, I suppose, if you are living near to a river, causeway or the sea.
Sort of down by the sea, so if you're down on the coast maybe, I mean for us here that would be sort of down towards the marsh area, sort of Dean Church, Lyd, New Romney, that kind of thing. Okay,
It's pretty useful to make sure, and I think they also in the flood search it gives you the future flood risk potential. So as the sea level rises,
so predicting what potentially
what will happen
good.
in the next X hundred years or so. But quite useful if you aren't aware of that. Again, just make sure that when you pick up the keys from your home that you don't get some of your feet within the
you don't want that. No. I know the weather in England's quite wet at the minute, but no, we're not going to forecast that one. No. Okay.
Another search you can do would be for contaminated soil.
Yeah. So particularly if you're on that's quite common
radon gas,
things like that, and that's quite common in areas where it's what they call a brownfield development. So where it's served a purpose in the past, generally from an industrial point of view, and then they've looked to build on it. One I always remember when I started out back in '98 when I was working at Deal branch, so great little sort of seaside town, but further back in you've got all the colliery searches. Crikey, struggle every week with one particular word, don't I? There's basically a coal mine search to find out make sure you haven't got like I suppose a tunnel underneath your house. Yes, it might be a long way down, but at some point you just need to know, is there one there? Then rather than waking up one morning and find your garden's gone, sinkhole scenarios, that kind of thing. So they're the main kind of ones that people are doing. So
could be as well Chancellory search, chancel land.
Right. Yeah. Explanation for the viewers.
Explanation of that. So back in the day, going back many centuries, when Henry VIII formed the Church of England, he would offer some land to his farmers, and they would work with the land, but in return they would pay him a rent to build the Church of England. And what's happened over the years is the Chancellory search would see whether or not your property is actually on land that may incur a rent.
I first came across one of those actually for Kingsnorth. There was a property there that came up with it, so that can be quite. I don't think it's particularly expensive, but you need to know that it's there.
You do. I think the only case I can remember, this is going back donkey's years, it was an out of area solicitor who wanted us to photograph the local church to make sure the roof was in good repair, and that some officious parishioner wasn't likely to come back and try and claim all the rent that hadn't been collected since 1960 or something.
Because I think some of them as well, it is to do with the repair of the local church, isn't it? So everyone has to chip in. I suppose really it's what we would class as a modern day leasehold. I suppose that's really the way of looking at it, keeping the upkeep of the local area. So again, just be aware of things like that. So the searches They're traditional. Why do we need them? Mortgage companies that are lending on a property will want to know that it is you're buying what you're meant to be buying. It's a sound, solid investment, I suppose, really, isn't it? And a clear title, as you say. How long do they normally take, Andrew? If we're looking at Ashford at the minute, 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, maybe a little bit quicker on occasions. Quite a few solicitors use a search provider who package up the whole lot and return it back. Obviously, given the recent situation we've all been through, there's been search providers, people working from home, reduced staff, people self-isolating, etc. So, with the sheer volume of transactions in the process, then the poor guys and girls who are providing these manual searches or the application comes in, they do the package up and send it back. It's just the sheer workload. So back in the day, you probably could have had a search returned within a few days. We've seen that take several weeks, maybe even a month or more to get returned. It is something your solicitor or conveyancer will be aware of. They normally ask you for money on account, £300 or £400 for these searches. It's typical. Fairly early on in the process, or it should be pretty much one of the very first things they do, just so it does potentially cut down the timescale it's going to take for you to exchange contracts.
And am I right, a search generally wouldn't be applied until they receive the draft contracts from the other side?
Yeah, so at the start of the process, the buyer solicitor would communicate with the seller solicitors once we've sent out our memorandum of sale. So we introduce the seller solicitor to the buyer solicitors, they make contact with each other, and the draft contracts are issued once the seller solicitor has had confirmation from buyers solicitors that they are formally instructed to act for the purchaser. So once the buyer solicitor receives that draft paperwork, that would instigate them to undertake the searches.
So one of the things I keep reading about and I keep trying to push with clients is when you are looking to sell your property, get the paperwork done.
Yep,
because I suppose really the scenario can happen, and it has happened. We've just had one recently. Client had gone away on holiday. We hadn't sold the property. Actually, while they were away, we did sell the property. We've instructed solicitors. I think they were away for nearly 4 weeks. A lot of it was business work, but hadn't done the paperwork. Hadn't got things ready, and there was plenty of time prior to doing it. So quite often you can get in touch with your solicitor. They'll just send you the basic information pack for you to fill everything out ready. And if you want us to hold it, we're quite happy to do that, and we can send it off to your solicitor as and when. We can just send it in, and they can sit on it, but don't leave it till the last minute. Because again, you get questions from people. Well, I don't know who owns my boundary, and I don't know if I'm going to leave a curtain pole. So this is really, really important stuff. So again, if you're looking to sell, get organised in advance. Make sure you are in touch and have chosen the solicitor that you wish to use. Because the last thing you want to do is go, I'm going to use Joe Bloggs' solicitor, and we already find out that the buyer's already paid monies on account to that Joe Bloggs solicitor, and you can't use them, and you have to go and choose someone else. So get in there first, get your solicitor organised, know what you're going to be paying, and that's the thing, know what you're paying, know what your budget is.
Definitely, there's absolutely no harm in getting a fast start, as I suppose we call it, is that as you're getting your property ready to market and instructing us guys to put it on the market and find your buyer, do the same thing with the solicitors. Get one on board, get the quotes, get them to send out the initial paperwork, as Roy says, correctly, fill it in as best you can, get it back to the solicitors. So the moment that we send that memorandum of sale to the solicitors to confirm the start of the process, they're already armed and ready just to issue straight away. You could probably save yourself, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks on this.
I think you can. I think there is that first 2 weeks, and I think that's, for me, from experience, and I'm sure Andrew would agree with it, well, I hope you agree on this one, is those first couple of weeks are really crucial. You need to show commitment. People, it's a really stressful point, but once a buyer and a seller have got things going, and there is a momentum, and there's not that delay and a different level of expectation, if you're in control of that and it's happening, normally no issues at all.
Exactly right.
We hope. So, property of the week, Andrew.
Yes.
Not a selling one this time, so I'm going to chip in on this one. Client that we deal with on behalf of somebody else, and they've given us 3 brand new build properties to rent. Now, we were just waiting. These only completed last weekend, so we've sort of only picked up the keys earlier this week. Absolutely stunning. So we have got a choice of 3. Semi-detached townhouses. These are 4 beds, great size, obviously over 3 floors. You've got the master bedroom, takes the whole of the top floor. So if mum and dad want to hide from the kids, it's absolutely perfect, these properties. Loads of parking, which is great with the new... I mean, I'm finding the new builds, if that makes sense, are coming with extra parking. And I'm assuming that's from over the years where people were feeding back. They need parking for 2 or 3 cars. So it comes with a decent sized car barn, 2 more parking easily, and great location over on Bridgefield. So these are coming to rent. Now, they are holding quite a premium on them, but they are well worth it, $1,850 a month. But the exciting thing is, for anybody taking one before the end of this month, you will get 2 weeks rent discount, which could be worth, I think it's just shy of about £900 off.
Well, that's Christmas couple then, isn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely, and more, yeah, without a doubt. So these ones, as I say, they are in Heritage Road in Bridgefield. We've just let one of the 3 beds for someone else, very popular location, and easy access to everywhere. We've got the bus stops down on Bridgefield, you've got local shop, easy access to the motorway. So these are really, really popular, and I don't see them hanging around. But don't forget, you get 2 weeks rent free when you first move in, so absolutely fantastic. So Heritage Road, down on the new Bridgefield development. These 3 are persimmon build, so really solid, decent size, great condition, all white, all nice grey carpets, really, really funky and new. But that's it for me, really.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity to be the very first occupier of a brand new house.
And they are stunning.
Yeah, it's just like renting a brand new car, I suppose. Isn't it?
Yeah. Off we go. Fantastic. Well, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you very much indeed for joining us again. Hopefully that has been useful for you. If you have got any questions, as always, just give us a call, 01233 501 601, or just drop us a message. And we also like to hear, what do you want us to talk about? I've got a big list of subjects, but we're always open to suggestions. So if any of the viewers here are thinking, do you know what, I don't understand that part of the process, or what happens in that scenario, just drop us a question, drop us a message, we'll put it in as a subject and we'll do a video on it.
Very happy to do that.
Fantastic. Well, listen, thank you again and enjoy the rest of the weekend. We'll see you soon. Take care. Thanks. Bye-bye.